Good evening and welcome to Newshour Agenda. I'm Madhav. Now, viewers, India and Pakistan are set to lock horns in the ongoing ICC World Cup this Saturday. But it appears tempers are already flaring up on both sides. On Tuesday, Pakistan won their second game in the World Cup against Sri Lanka. And wicketkeeper Mohd Rizwan was the highest scorer for the country at 131. However, it's a statement after his innings that has sparked a massive controversy here in India. Shortly after his win, the Pakistan cricketer tweeted saying that he dedicates the win to his brothers and sisters in Gaza. This amidst the ongoing war between Israel and Palestine that have cost hundreds of lives. This comment has clearly not gone down well with a lot of people here in India. The BJP has called this a testament to Pakistan's terror mindset, quote unquote. While some others have even called for an investigation to be launched against the cricketer.
Well, Pakistani cricketer dedicated his century to the people of Gaza. This clearly shows that Pakistan has been supporter of the terrorism, and it has gone deep into the system where the leading stars or leading players or other leading public figures also dedicate their centuries or are with the terrorism wherever it happens in the world. But Rizwan Saab, you should have dedicated your one of the centuries to Uyghur Muslims in China also. Then we would have thought that you are a real Muslim. But no, it is as per suitability.
पैलेस्टाइन के आतंकवादी हमले का पाकिस्तान के क्रिकेटर खुल करके समर्थन कर रहे हैं। क्या कारण? पाकिस्तान के आतंकवादी मानसिकता का यह परिचायक है। क्या क्रिकेट का मैदान, क्या सियासत का मैदान हो सकता है? जिस प्रकार की भाषा पाकिस्तान के क्रिकेटर के द्वारा सामने आई है, वह निंदनीय है।
मोहम्मद रिजवान ने जिस तरह से अपनी टीम की जीत को गाजा के आतंकियों को समर्पित कर दिया, इससे यह बात साबित हो गई कि पाकिस्तान हमेशा आतंकवादियों का साथ देता है। जिस तरह से इजराइल में गाजा के आतंकवादी हमास के लोग निर्दोष लोगों को, आम नागरिकों को कत्लेआम कर रहे हैं, वो किसी भी तरह से असहनीय है और मानवता के खिलाफ है। लेकिन उसके बावजूद पाकिस्तान के इस प्लेयर ने अपनी टीम की जीत को, पाकिस्तान की जीत को उन आतंकवादियों को समर्पित करा, और ये बिल्कुल बहुत गलत है। और मैं ये मांग करता हूं कि इस प्लेयर के ऊपर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
Remember, the ICC has taken objection to such statements in the past which carry political undertones, like Indian cricketer Mohd Ali's Save Gaza wristbands that he sported back in 2014. Even MS Dhoni's Balidan insignia on his wicket-keeping gloves were not permitted. So many are asking today, why is the Pakistan cricketer giving a political color to the festival of cricket? However, sources in the ICC have told Times Now that the players are allowed to use their own platforms away from the field, and hints that ICC may not intervene given that this is not an action that happened on the playing field. However, many others, including former cricketers, have come out in support of Mohd Rizwan, saying that players can't be criticized for making such statements outside the cricket pitch.
Well, I suppose this is a great gesture from a cricketer and sports person in general. You see, nobody would like to have a war, you see, globally. So globally, everyone wants peace, harmony, love. So on that count, probably, you see, innocent people are getting killed from both the sides, the brothers and sisters from both the sides. So he's dedicated his century to the lives which have been lost and to stop war.
ये भी कैसा देखते हो, मोहम्मद रिजवान जो पाकिस्तानी क्रिकेटर है, कल पाकिस्तान को मैच जिताने के बाद अभी ट्वीट कर रहे हैं जो इजराइल के अगेंस्ट ट्वीट कर रहे हैं।
आप तुम लोग क्यों इजराइल की बहुत फिक्र लगी हुई भाई? तुमको फलस्तीन में इंसान नहीं दिखते क्या?
Take this across to Karishma, who's joining us from the venue of the match. She's at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. And Karishma, of course, a massive victory for India this evening. But any reactions from those fans about Pakistani cricketers' support to Gaza statement?
Well, Yes, absolutely, Madhav. The fans here are, of course, excited about India winning today, and they're very happy with it. But I want to ask you about the next match, India versus Pakistan. It all obviously sets the stage for winning against Pakistan as well. But how do you look at that match? Because it always becomes political, it always becomes controversial. The Pakistani players about Gaza as well today in the middle of ICC World Cup tournament. How do you look at that?
No, ma'am, it is surely a very anticipated match, a very important match, but India going right with great momentum, back-to-back wins against Australia and Afghanistan. But yeah, there are always political tensions when we talk about India and Pakistan. But as Rohit Sharma, the captain, today also said that we will be taking as it just a normal match. India should play the next match as just a normal match. If we think about too much about the political tensions, then it will be a tough for both the teams.
आपको लगता है कि पाकिस्तान प्लेयर्स को पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट्स बनाने चाहिए? आईसीसी का वर्ल्ड कप टूर्नामेंट चल रहा है, उस बीच में वो पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट्स बोल रहे हैं, वो गाजा इजराइल के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. आपको लगता है ये होना चाहिए?
जी, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए. पॉलिटिक्स और स्पोर्ट्स इन दोनों को बिल्कुल अलग रखना चाहिए. स्पोर्ट्स से
पाकिस्तान के खुद के प्लेयर्स ही पॉलिटिक्स को बीच में ला रहे हैं जब वो गाजा की
वो हमेशा से ही ऐसा करते हैं. उन्होंने कब ऐसा नहीं किया? शाहिद आफरीदी, इमरान खान, सिकंदर बख्त, उनके कई ऐसे क्रिकेटर हैं जो यही कमेंट करते रहते हैं पॉलिटिक्स इंडिया जीतेगी. मैं आपको एक लाइव एग्जांपल देता हूँ. उनका एक चैनल था न्यूज़ 22 PTV स्पोर्ट्स में, इन सबको फॉलो करता हूँ. तो सिकंदर बख्त, शाहिद आफरीदी, इन्होंने इंडिया पे आरोप लगाया. इन्होंने कहा कि इंडिया ने जानबूझ के ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ ऐसी पिचेस बनाई कि स्पिन फ्रेंडली विकेट कि इंडिया को सूट करेगी और दूसरी टीम को सूट नहीं करेगी. और उन्होंने बोला कि दूसरी बार इंडिया जहाँ भी खेलेगी वहाँ ऐसा होगा, जबकि ऐसा नहीं होता. आईसीसी टूर्नामेंट्स में पिचेस हमेशा आईसीसी ही तैयार करता है, उनके ही क्यूरेटर्स होते हैं. कुछ अंदाज़ा नहीं होता. होम टीम को थोड़ा एडवांटेज होता है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है.
लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं आपको लगता है कि पाकिस्तान के जो प्लेयर्स हैं बहुत अनवांटेड, अननेसेसरी कमेंट्स कर रहे हैं. कल वो मैच जीते थे, उसके बाद उनको शायद ये करने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी, गाजा को 100 डेडिकेट करने की.
पॉलिटिक्स को अलग रखना चाहिए, हाँ. लेकिन एक चीज़ है, जो 14 को मैच होगा वो ब्लॉकबस्टर होने जा रहा है. पाकिस्तान भी बहुत अच्छा मैच जीत के आ रहा है श्रीलंका के साथ, और इंडिया ने भी बहुत ही शानदार विक्ट्री ली है.
So, Madhav, there you have it. The fans also saying that Pakistan is, used to do this. It is their habit to bring in politics within the sport, and maybe Mohd Rizwan shouldn't have tweeted about Gaza. They had won the
Absolutely.
match.
A repeat of Pakistan is what they're saying, and they're even saying not just Pakistan, but Pakistan cricketers have done this many times in the past, which raises the question. Of course, it's a much awaited and anticipated match, and I know you'll be covering that, Karishma. We'll be watching out for your coverage as well. But let me take this across to my guests. Thanks so much for joining us with that quick update. We have with us Sushant Sareen joining us, Senior Fellow of the ORF. With us also is Alan Sippy, who's a former cricketer. Faraz Saeed is a political analyst joining us. But let me first and foremost go across to Kamar Chima. Kamar Chima, why is Pakistan always supporting terror is a charge and a question being raised by others, by those in India at least. They are saying that at a match like this, more than, one can do whatever one wants with a victory, but making this kind of a political statement, coming out and virtually exonerating Hamas terrorists who've carried out that ghastly attack on Saturday, and only talking about those who one considers victims in Gaza. Isn't it a clear sign that the mentality within Pakistan is pro-terror?
Well, I think Hamas, and there is a difference between Hamas and Gaza. Gaza has 2.3 million population. So not all of them support Hamas, and they are not subscriber, and they have not picked up weapons, and they have not attacked Israel. So if he has uttered the word Gaza, it means he stands with the innocent people who are being bombarded by the Israelis. So thousands of people are being killed. The entire
controls Gaza, sir?
is being eliminated. Listen.
Simple question. Who controls Gaza?
Hamas and Gaza. There is
Who controls Gaza? My simple question to you. I'm not talking about West Bank.
Don't make it a Jew. Don't make it as a Jew Muslim or a Hindu Muslim.
It is not a Jew Muslim. Hamas has carried out a terror attack in which over 1,200 people have died. At least mention that. Talk about people in Israel and Gaza. I can understand that. If your humanitarian values are preaching for victims of violence, speak about victims on both sides at least.
My friend, there is a difference between Hamas and Gaza. There is a difference. When will you learn? Your research.
So there is a difference between victims of Hamas and victims of the Israel airstrikes also, according to you. You should discriminate against the victims of Hamas violence.
You are sitting on a mainstream television and you don't know difference.
I know very well, sir. I also know very well why the mentality within Pakistan is to whitewash the crimes done by terrorist organizations such as Hamas.
We condemn what Hamas did. Listen, we condemn what Hamas did.
Yeah, but that's not what Mr. Rizwan is saying.
To kill the citizens and innocent people of Gaza. There's a difference, and try to know that. So don't make it
no, so say that.
And Jew-Muslim
What is
issue
the
all
harm in
time.
saying that, sir? And in fact, we're going to ask our viewers also to join us. But before I go across to the rest of our panelists and our viewers, I want Sushant Sareen to come in over there. Sushant Sareen, there is selective outrage, selective amnesia, selective, sympathy, whatever one chooses to call it. And there's a pattern over here, because that's a pattern that has been seen.
Yeah, that's right, Madhav. The reason why I am so opposed to anything to do with Pakistan is the kind of sheer hypocrisy. Let's not mix sports and politics. We keep hearing that, don't we? But we should mix sports and religion. They have ministers who say that they win one match and they say this is a victory of Islam over Kufr. Haven't we heard that? We have one of their cricketers who, unfortunately, shamelessly, we have allowed to come out here as a commentator, who feels very proud that a Muslim was making an open demonstration of his faith by doing the namaz in a cricket field while the Hindus were watching. Haven't we seen that? Haven't we seen all kinds of Hindu-phobic kind of comments coming out from these guys and their cricketers, former cricketers, their commentators, their journalists, all the time? It's all there. It's all in front of us. Now, here, and I take strong objection to somebody who at one point of time used to be a hero, Syed Kirmani. But Syed Kirmani says, he's trying to whitewash. He's trying to cover up this whole thing. I don't know why he's doing it. Maybe it's for reasons of faith, common faith and all of that. But Kirmani says that, he spoke about Gaza and he was talking about victims on all sides. He wasn't talking about victims on all sides. He was talking about only one kind of victims. And he wasn't condemning terrorism. He wasn't condemning the violence that had been unleashed, unprovoked violence unleashed by these Hamas terrorists. And then to say that, we are only talking about the people who are suffering in Gaza. Okay, fine. How about even saying a word about all those Israelis, the Jews, who had been butchered, massacred in Israel, killed in cold blood? Literal carnage which happened and the kind of butchery, although I'm not surprised, because their own heroes, Musharraf used to call them, the Lashkar-e-Taibas and the Jaish-e-Mohammeds, have done similar things in India.
Right.
In Kashmir, in Jammu, in other parts of India, they've done this.
Let me bring in Alan Sippy.
In Bombay, they did it.
Yeah.
How many people condemned Bombay? These guys, all of these guys, they're ambassadors, they're former ambassadors to India. They're serving military men, they're senior analysts, all kinds of people out there still say that no, Mumbai happened not because there was a Lashkar-e-Taiba involved in it, it was an RSS conspiracy.
Well, just ridiculous, because India has given dossier after dossier, no action coming from Pakistan side. That's very well established that Pakistan is not serious on cracking down on terror. That's very well known, Sushant Sareen. But this kind of deliberate provocation, is this a deliberate provocation, is a question that many are asking. And I want to bring in Alan Sippy, who's a cricketer, former cricketer rather. Alan Sippy, we all know what the controversy was when MS Dhoni sported the Balidan badge on his wicket-keeping gloves. It was said to be a insignia that represented the services, represented the forces, and the ICC had it removed. In this case, they are saying it's not on the field, so it's okay. Can one support this kind of an overt political stance that has been taken by an individual, and that too for an incident which has caused so much outrage across the world? The big countries of the world are today talking about how Israel is a victim of terror. India too has been a victim of terror.
Frankly, Madhav, there's two sides to every story, and this war is really sad for both sides. So taking sides is actually wrong for us, because we are cricketers and Mohd Rizwan is a cricketer. But most importantly, I think that before taking all these sides and before having all these statements made out by people from Pakistan, Mohd Rizwan in particular, these people should be educated. And it's not just for his fault, because there's so many situations in the past that's happened. These people should be educated that they have to refrain or rather abstain from making remarks about political remarks, because it's a sport that they're playing. In fact, India is welcomed them. The BCCI and Mr. Prime Minister Modi has welcomed Pakistan to our country to play cricket, and they want them to play cricket in the right manner. There was no need for Mohd Rizwan, after playing such a brilliant knock, for him to get into this kind of controversy. There was absolutely no need for him to get into it, because this is a political matter. This is a matter for the politicians to handle, and this is not meant for people like us who are uneducated in this field. I just feel sad that this person has taken this stance by saying that he's dedicated to one side, when the Israelis are also suffering themselves. The 1,200 people that died. So It's a shame that has happened, and it should never be happened. It should be corrected from the start by the management of Pakistan.
Absolutely. It should be corrected by the management of Pakistan. I'm going to take that question across to Faraz Saeed, political analyst, who's also with us on the panel. But we have our callers joining us, viewers joining us at the moment. Let me take this question across to them. Sanjay Sharma is our first viewer joining us from Andhra Pradesh. Yes, Sanjay.
Hi, this is Sanjay Sharma. I'm calling from Agra, Uttar Pradesh. Hi, good evening.
Beg your pardon. Sorry about the location. Please go ahead.
Hi, Madhav. Good evening to you. It's so saddening that what Mohd Rizwan is saying. After all the hospitality and the grand gesture we have showed to the Pakistan team, what they're doing is so unfortunate, so uncalled for. Apart from that, you see what the problem I have is not with the Pakistan team. What they're doing is expected out of them. I mean, it's very usual for them to come out all this shit. No, issue is with people like Syed Kirmani and the issue is with Syed Kirmani, people like Syed Kirmani and Virat Kohli. After all the things we hear from the Pakistani team, the way they go out and support and gel with them, it's really so humiliating for all of us. I mean, all the cricketers, like you have Shahid Afridi saying कि मेरी daughter जो है वो Hindu faith की आरती देख रही थी, मैंने TV तोड़ दिया. So all this stuff. So I think it's really uncalled for and so unfortunate.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us with your views. Raghavendra is our next viewer joining us from New Delhi. Yes, Raghavendra.
Yeah, good evening. I want to make some quick points. The first and the foremost point is that these people are differentiating the Hamas and Gaza. Hamas are the de facto leaders in the last 5 or 6 years of Gaza, and they are hiding behind their brothers and sisters.
Since 2007, in fact, yeah.
That's the first point. And the second point is Rizwan has to be handed over at least a 2-match ban, because he is speaking on an international venue where regarding the politics, which is of a highest point and a totally deplorable one.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing with us your views. Vikas is our next viewer joining us from Bengaluru. Yes, Vikas.
Yeah. Hello. I'm Vikas from Bangalore. I'm not at all surprised over the behavior of Rizwan on Indian soil. He has come here to play cricket, or has he come here to indulge in politics? Suppose the Indian team were to dedicate their victory to the Balakot strike, to the Pulwama, to having lost the surgical strikes, how would it look like? I mean, Pakistan must understand that they have to keep themselves totally out of politics.
Okay.
When they have come here to play.
Okay.
And, you have some panelists from Pakistan.
Yeah.
They're all ambassadors of terrorism, let me tell you that. And I don't see any reason, any justification on the part of any sports person trying to, dedicate his or his team's victory to a state which has been,
Right. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's quickly get in a word from Manas Ghosh as well from New Delhi. Yes, Manas.
Yeah, the thing is, forget about Rizwan, because they're an illiterate lot. That's all we know. Only thing is that Kirmani should be refunded.
Okay. Your problem is what Mr. Kirmani has said, but let me take that question across to Faraz Saeed. Mr. Faraz Saeed, question is, will there be, no century dedication to Uyghur Muslims? That's a question that one of the spokespersons was in fact mentioning. Would you like to respond to that?
I mean, most of the callers basically had no idea what the actual incident was. Somebody was saying that, they're gelling in very well with the Pakistani players, the Indian players, and that's embarrassing for them. And somebody said, their behaviors are not right. I just want to go beyond semantics. I mean, semantics would be like, Rizwan, dedicated his victory not to Gazans who are killed. I mean, we need to understand social media or the global media is abuzz with either they're supporting the Israeli action or they're supporting the Palestinian. both of the sides have lost lives, over 1,000 lives in Gaza and over 1,000 lives in Israel.
So why couldn't he say that? Why can't he say both sides? It's a simple question.
I mean, that's what I'm telling you.
No, why? But why does he have to pick a side?
That's what I'm telling you.
Isn't it a deliberate provocation coming on India's soil and making such a comment, sir?
The problem is, both of the sides, there are two sides to it. There are two sides to it. Not all of the people are supporting the Israelis, and not all of the people are supporting the Gazans. Every individual, if you go on social media, every individual, even in India, there are two sides. Not everybody is sympathizing with the Israelis, and not everybody is sympathizing with the Gazans.
Faraz Said, for heaven's sake, there's a terror strike that has happened. Who is the aggressor here? Is Hamas not the initiator of a terror strike? You don't think it's important to condemn terror? And what kind of a false claim is this when Pakistan says we are victims of terror? Doesn't that stand completely exposed today? Because even your official statement, sir, let me read out your official statement. This is your official statement which has no mention of Hamas. This is a statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan. Not one word of the cowardly strike that took place on Israel. This is just a reflection of the mentality of Pakistan. This is what everybody will say.
If you want to go back to the history line, I would be happy to discuss what historical.
This is not history. This is 7th of October, 3 days ago. This is 7th of October, Mr. Faraz.
I mean, we can discuss that, but I personally feel what Hamas did was abhorrent. What Hamas did was brutal. It should not have happened. 1,000 Israeli innocent lives should not have been lost.
But why did Rizwan not say so?
What Hamas did,
why did Mr. Rizwan not say so?
You see. Yeah, well, because he stands with Gazans. I mean, we can't dictate his ideology. We can't dictate what he wants to say. However, the cricket boards must regulate the public statements of cricketers. I am totally about that.
The global opinion.
Cricket unions, there has to be official statements that has to be released during any.
The global opinion is quite different. In fact, let me just get in some more callers. We have Deshpande with us from Pune. Yes, Deshpande.
I'm Lokhande from Pune.
Yes, please go ahead.
I have a question, Mr. Kamarchima. When I look at the statement of all these Pakistani intelligentsia, I feel you fail to grow as a society. In fact, when I listen to your statement, I feel sorry that you have absolutely no regards for humanity. You see everything from the religious angle.
Okay, direct question to Kamarchima. Kamarchima, Pakistan has not grown as a society. Only one perspective, one unidimensional view of things.
Pakistan has not grown up as a society. So Pakistan has been competing India for the last 75 years for its survival, and we have competed everywhere, and we are here surviving as a nation despite the fact we have fought wars, despite the fact we have been facing aggression. And do you believe that
competition
we have not survived as a
Where is the
society?
competition apart from the cricket field? Economy.
So there is
GDP growth.
There has always been a competition.
FDI.
It's just a matter of few years.
Food self-reliance.
Few years, India's economy is growing, but
where is the competition?
There is not a competition.
Many would say there's no competition anymore.
Sir, it's a matter of few years. There is no competition in economy. But otherwise, this
Sushant
is fine.
Sareen.
You have a population of 1.4 billion. We have a population of 240 million.
Sushant Sareen, it is 75 years of competition that Pakistan has had to endure. And that is why this unidimensional perspective, if I've understood Kamarchima's argument.
So here is the thing. You know, Mr. Chima talked about Pakistan fighting for its survival. Every single war was started by them. If they were fighting for their survival, then the wars would have been imposed by us. But they are the ones who provoke wars. They are the ones who indulge in military adventurism. And then they get their butts kicked and then they say, oh, we are fighting for our survival. 47, 48, they started it in Kashmir. They sent in the tribal leaders. It's been very well documented. 65, they started it. 71, they started it. Kargil, they started it. Mr. Chima, when you were talking, I kept quiet. Just hold your horses. Madhav, I can't.
Okay, come on. Let him, you can respond to him.
Same space as these guys.
Okay, Kamar Chima.
I will not.
Kamar Chima, let him make his point. You can respond to him. Yeah.
You have to shut him up because most of what of this talk is in any case incoherent. So one is that these are the guys who start, they provoke. This is like Hamas doing what they have done. They provoked a war, and I think deliberately, and now they're going to all play victim. And, you know, that entire ecosystem with people like Qamar Cheema and others will come and try and, you know, provide advocacy. But let's come back to the cricket issue. See, there has been a pattern. Pakistanis have been serial offenders as far as the cricket field is concerned. There have been cases of Pakistani players trying to convert other players to Islam. Where is it written that on the field, where is it written that you indulge in this kind of an activity, right? Then you have a Pakistani captain. Do you remember one of the World Cup matches? I think it was in Chandigarh or one of those World Cup matches. The Pakistanis lost to India, and what did the captain, Pakistani captain, say? I apologize to all the Muslims, as though these guys represent all the Muslims of the world.
And there are no
Most
Muslims
of the
in
other
India.
Muslim countries in the Arab world.
What a ridiculous statement.
Treat them as something that the cat brought.
No, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Statements like this.
Yeah.
And then you expect that everybody else is going to take it lying down. Why is it that these guys are allowed? Then should the Indian team go and start doing bhajan mandali on the middle of a cricket pitch?
Qamar Cheema, respond to that.
My religious responsibility.
Respond to that, Qamar Cheema.
A damn cricket match, you play a cricket match like a cricket match has to be played. If you want to show your religion, go to a madrasa or a mosque. Don't do it on the cricket field. And
the fundamental question is, despite playing cricket, every human being has his choices, likes and dislikes. So if a person, listen, sir, if a person, despite being a cricketer, the person has his own choices, likes and dislikes, political opinion. That doesn't mean he cannot share it.
But there are responsibilities. There are responsibilities.
You cannot monitor.
Completely out of time, Qamar Cheema, sorry, but completely out of time. But there are responsibilities also that the cricketers have, and that's why there is a code of conduct for the cricketers. We'll have to leave it there for the moment. Unfortunately, completely out of time. Shan Sareen, Alan Sippy, Faraz Saeed and Qamar Cheema, thanks so much for joining us this evening.